Welcome to today's edition of the Mental Health Matters TV show. Today we're going to be talking about child abuse or child neglect. We have a special guest on the show today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because he has a very powerful story to share. So get you something to drink, get you a snack, and come on back. Thank you so much for coming out on a Saturday and being a guest on our show. When I actually heard a little bit about your story, it kind of really inspired me to want to to do a show on this specific topic. I know I've talked about victims of crime and things like that, but not really heard somebody's story that's as powerful as your story. So we're going to just get into it and just kind of let you go ahead and share your story. Why don't we start by you introducing yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Daniel Bejarano, and I actually work as an employment developer for a mental health program.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for I'm going on 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
And I've been in the field though, working with constituents with mental health for over 33 years, besides me also being a consumer.
So you said over 33 years, and I can tell you right now, and I'm not going to have you tell your age, but you look very, very young. You do not look like you've been working in the field for 33 years, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, 59, I'm going to be 60 this year.
You don't look your age at all,
Thank
so
you.
that's a good thing. So let's just start off. Just tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah, well, I was born here in Sacramento, California, of course, on 15th and E, for those that understand the area. Back in the day when I was young, was a rough neighborhood.
Okay.
But my mom abandoned me with my grandparents because
Okay.
she didn't like my skin color. Everybody in my family is light skin, blue eyes, green eyes. I'm the only dark skin. But I do have a different father from everybody else.
Yeah.
But my grandparents were embarrassed of me, so even though I was starting elementary school, which was 4 blocks away from the home, I had to walk myself to school.
Wow.
They didn't get up, they didn't do anything for me, they didn't pick me up, so I've learned to be really independent.
Wow.
And the odd part about it is I was born 2 pounds, so I was born with a club foot.
Wow.
So when I started elementary school, I actually had braces and a cane. And, like, if anybody watched the movie Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
he had those braces, but that's what I had.
Wow.
So I understand those braces. But even then, there was no empathy or sympathy in my family. It was like, get yourself to school, because if you get in trouble and they call me, then you're really going to get it. That's how simple they looked at it. When I got home from school, even in elementary school, when I got home from school, I was only allowed to do certain things. Come in and change, and then I had to sit outside in the front. I wasn't allowed to talk to no adults, and I didn't have anybody to play with. I had to be outside though all day. And I couldn't come in until it was time for me to go to bed, to eat and go to bed. I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom. I had to hold everything, and it was like that until I was about 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then my mom came home married, and my grandmother said, well, you're taking him with you, and took me to Stockton.
Wow.
And the only thing that was odd to me is my mom had the same behaviors.
Okay.
She also left me outside. I couldn't be in the house, and she would threaten me if I tried to come in to use the bathroom, and same thing.
Yeah.
But the downside to me though is, the one thing I learned is, because I didn't have anybody protecting me, other members of the family would try to take advantage of that, because they knew there was nobody for me to cry to.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I had uncles that my mom would purposely, well, not on purpose, but she would leave me there so that she could go party.
Yeah.
And they used to try to molest me.
Yeah.
And I used to have nightmares about them. And,
Yeah.
But didn't matter, because I didn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
I had cousins that made fun of me. You know, they would steal and then turn around and say that I did it, and I would get hit for it.
Yeah.
try to get attention or someone to talk to, an ear. Never had it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
You know, then all of a sudden my mom, when I was 13, one of my sisters ran outside to tell me that my stepdad tried to molest her. So I ran in the house and got in a fight with him. And he told my mom either he leaves or I leave.
Wow.
So she threw me out in the street. And I was homeless from 13 all the way up to 18.
Wow.
And the downside though is that's when my psychosis started kicking in really hard.
Okay.
Because I was in junior high school, and though I was homeless, I still kept trying to go to school.
Yeah.
But my mental health got so severe that I started forgetting what class I was supposed to be in, what time I'm supposed to be in it. Couldn't remember combinations to my locker.
Yeah.
Because it's like my brain developed a false sense of where I was.
Yeah.
In order to be okay to sleep in the rain. You know what I mean? Because when it's raining, you're sleeping under a tree to try to lower the rain.
Yeah.
You get up wet, you know.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to do is go swim in the river and just drown. And
Yeah.
this was in Stockton.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, so I had to give myself false hope.
False hope.
Make
Yeah.
myself believe that my parents were really well off, and
Yeah.
that I'm doing okay, and that I'm in a private room with a heater. And I used to have to fantasize like that
Yeah.
for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Quite a few years. But then that led to me then stealing cars
Okay.
to sleep in, because, you know, if you're dumb enough. But I stole them from car lots, not people.
So we kind of
Get it
moving
wrong.
ahead. We moving ahead a little bit. So I want
Yeah.
to kind of focus on the childhood, because we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you were actually walking to school by yourself? When they told you had to walk to school?
Beginning of elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe what, about 5, 6?
Yep.
Wow.
And I still remember to this day.
Wow.
But even then I had mental health, because I was already trying to, because so 15th and E is quite a distance to K Street Mall, you know,
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah.
Just downtown back then. But I used to walk it
Okay.
in hope that somebody would kidnap me and kill me.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
I used to feel like that all the time.
Yeah. So do you feel like you never felt loved? You never felt like anybody cared about you? You never.
Didn't even understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all because there was the color of your skin.
Yep. And the only thing the only thing that made me think that there's supposed to be something different is watching my friends with their kids.
Yeah.
You know, when I see my friends jump on their dad's arms, or their parents
Yeah.
being there hugging them, that would make me cry, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah. 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 You know, I can definitely relate to what you're saying, because I've had my own struggle as a child growing up too. I've never felt from my family as well, that never felt loved, never felt appreciated. And you know, I think I've shared when I graduated from high school, nobody came. They was at home drinking and drunk. When I graduated from elementary school, nobody came. They was at home drinking and drunk. But when my sisters had accomplishment, it was a party, and they you know, they were celebrating and stuff like that. And I didn't really know that those negative feelings it affected the relationship that I had as I started to get older and things like that, you know. And like you, when I would see friends with their families and stuff like that, I've always craved for that. You know, my dad was never in the house. My mom, you know, an alcoholic, and you know, the whole family on drugs or some sort of substance. And it's like I felt neglected. I felt alone, you know. But you know, I just like you. I had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And so for me, I was, as the years went on, I was able to identify when kids were neglected or didn't get the proper love or attention that they needed throughout the years, because of the lack of attention and love that I got or didn't get from my family as well.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. So what do you think are some of the signs and symptoms of child abuse or child neglect?
I think one of the first signs, well, like for me, if I look back, the one thing nobody would have ever seen me is hugging anybody.
Okay.
I didn't walk up and hug people or hold anybody's hand, because didn't have it, so I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I've never had it, so I can't react to what I don't understand.
Right. Exactly.
So I would just stand and look at you.
Right.
You know, if you said, "Come here, Daniel,"
Yeah.
I would just back up, because
Yeah.
I'm not understanding what you're trying to do.
Mhm.
It made no sense to me. You know, if you gave me a toy or a gift, well, that made me really not talk to you, because my uncle would try to molest me, and that's one of the first ways he would do it, is
Yeah.
try to give me gifts.
Yeah.
So there's things that I looked at to me, and so I learned that if somebody's offering me something, there's no reason to offer it to me.
Yes.
There's something wrong with the picture because it's my parents that are supposed to be doing it.
Right, exactly.
Not somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, regardless who they are in the family, but they're not supposed to be going out of their way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so that, even to this day, still makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm always spotting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that because my train of thought was, if my family are the ones who's supposed to love me and care for me and nurture me and take care of me as a child, if they don't do that, then my train of thought was, then people outside of that wouldn't, I couldn't trust nobody outside of that. Because I felt like if my family won't do it or can't do it, then everybody else are imposters.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world they can love and care about me. But it's interesting too that I think I crave love so much that I started to you know, deal with different women. So I you know, saw love in that manner. And when I didn't get it, then I started to want, like, gravitate towards my friends, and they became like family members, and I joined a fraternity, and that wasn't enough, and things like that.
Yeah.
But so do you feel like, have you ever gravitated toward like people outside your family to look at them as a form of a family, or you just kind of shunned that idea?
I kind of, well, I would always get a close friend,
Okay.
but at the same time, I always, in my brain, I always knew that they'd separate from me anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if my family don't play with me, why should they? So
Exactly.
I'll be kind to you,
Yeah.
and as soon as you're gone, it didn't hurt me because I was already expecting it.
Yeah.
You know, and like as I got older though, I started mimicking my uncle's behaviors. Not that I try to molest anybody, that's not what I meant to. But I used to try to buy them gifts in order to think that that's what I had to do to start a relationship.
Yes.
When in reality it didn't.
Yes,
and that's why now I get it, why they were confused. Like, why did Daniel give me flowers?
Yeah.
You know? Because I didn't get it. I didn't
Yeah.
understand it.
Yes.
But one of my salvations, which is going to sound weird, really was listening to oldies.
Okay.
The Temptations, Diana Ross, early Stevie Wonder, because they silhouetted people.
Yeah.
When they gave songs, there were songs about love, how to be loving, how do you show affection by doing these letters, and how do you care. So I started actually writing songs down and giving them to little girls when I was in elementary school, giving them to my girlfriends in school.
Yeah.
They didn't know what I was doing, but I've always felt compassion and love in my heart. I just didn't know how to accept it or give it because it wasn't given to me, so I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would get hurt, and the first thing that didn't run through my head was run inside the house and cry. Oh, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I didn't think like that. I would just dust it off and keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. So do you think throughout the years, do you think that you put up this defense mechanism that because for me, I had this, I felt like was a caring and giving person, and I think I wanted to help people so that they wouldn't kind of go through the things that I went through, but at the same time, in my mind, I only allow people to go so far. Like I put this some boundaries up because I'm like I felt like I'm going to get hurt, but at the same time, that serves for me as a defense mechanism, and it caused my feelings and emotions to get kind of hard towards people. It got to a point, man, when I made relationships with people and I can cut them off like I never knew them.
Oh yeah. No, that's real easy for me. I can talk to you, be nice to you, and the moment you just do something wrong, I don't need to talk to you for years. Yeah, but I was the person that in school, and same thing though, so I kind of turned around in junior high school, I was the one that kids that got bullied on, that would run to and say, Daniel, so-and-so's picking on me. Because then I'd go beat up the bully. I'd tell him, well, pick on me. Because to me, you couldn't hurt me no more. My family scarred me so bad. To me, is unless you're able or have the knowledge to be able to do something worse than they did, you ain't hurting me. So I would go fight with them.
Wow.
So I was a defense of those that were getting picked on.
So let me ask you another question too, because what's your nationality? You're Mexican, American?
Well, it's kind of confusing. So my grandfather's German.
Okay.
He was born in 1900, but he was raised in Mexico.
Okay.
And my grandmother's Indian from Mexico.
Okay.
But again, because they lived in Mexico most of their life, well, they called them Mexicans.
Okay.
Yeah. But my dad's Portuguese.
Okay.
But he died in the second tour of Vietnam, so I never got to know him.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask you that is because, you know, even today there seems to be an issue with the light-skinned and dark-skinned people, you know, and so for you to go through that, and something like this is still a problem today, you know, I think that in itself is an identity crisis or identity issue when you know, identify yourself or your loved one based off them lights being lighter or darker than you would prefer them to be, so to speak.
Well, the way it damaged me is, even to this day, I can't look in the mirror. Though people tell me, Daniel, you're a handsome guy, you're good looking. In my brain, if I look in the mirror, I see a fat, bald, ugly, dark-skinned, hairy, low-educated, no future person. That's what I see.
Wow.
But yet I've been working for 33 years and I drove my Maserati today.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change how I see myself when I look in the mirror.
Yeah.
But it doesn't define who I choose to be.
Right.
It's part of my illness, but again, it doesn't control who I choose to be, though.
So have you ever looked into the relationship that your parents had with their parents? Do you know if something like this happened to them, or?
All I know is my grandfather was he was military.
Okay.
And trust me, German military, he was real stringent. Same thing, they didn't say I love you to nobody.
Yeah.
But they were real hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Even my grandfather, when he was in his 80s, I'd say, Grandpa, do you need me to drive you somewhere? He'd say, why? I got legs.
Yeah, wow.
But that's how he was, period, with them. But then they mimicked the same thing. And my mom happened to be the baby girl.
Yeah.
So when she was here with my grandfather, she was the one that was real spoiled and went out and partied all the time. And my mom, you know, she wasn't a drug addict. Trust me, wasn't a deep alcoholic.
Wow.
But she did have mental health, and which I'm really strongly able to see in my family, but it was never addressed because if you said you have mental health, that means the whole family's broken.
Yeah.
And they are not going to raise a broken child. So it's better just not to say nothing, even though the behaviors were there.
Yeah. So in other words, you're saying some of the behavior, the neglect, the abuse that you experienced from your family, you contribute that to mental health issues that they potentially didn't get help themselves.
And it's still there. I still see the same symptoms. You know, my mom's a heavy manipulator.
Okay.
Really loves poking the bear. If she can find a way to make you mad, she will because she thinks it's hilarious. And to me, I'm able to see it.
Yeah.
You know, and like I tell people, you know, I'm happier knowing that I could see it, but I don't have to be it. I don't have to be her. I choose what I chose.
Yeah.
I wanted to change it. I didn't want to mimic my family no more.
Yeah,
But it took me really meeting with the doctor, getting on medications, meeting a therapist, understanding what it really means to have a mental health diagnosis. Yeah. No, it does not mean you're broken. It could be a various amount of elements that cause that symptom.
Yeah.
But there's things that are fixable if once you start learning how.
Yeah.
There's things that could change. But as a child, you can't because I'm not understanding anything.
Right.
I just know nobody's talking to me. Everybody's making fun of me. My uncle even put me in a dress one time and pulled me outside for everybody to laugh at. And my mom was one of them that was laughing. Yeah. She didn't run to me and say, "Oh, don't be doing that to my son." Yeah. I was the one that suffered through it. Yeah. So those scars stayed in my brain. Yeah. And seeing my mom being real disruptive, she's the one that was fighting. So when I see on TV where they talk about abusive men, that bothers the hell out of me because it wasn't the men that were abusive. It was my mother.
Yes.
But she was hidden. She was a hidden abuser. Yeah. You know, I mean, we got treats. Yeah. But we got treats only when family was coming over. Yeah. So to me, that's why giving me something to this day. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be 60. Yeah. I still can't. It's hard for me to accept gifts. Yeah. Because I still look at it as what my mom did. Here's a gift. Yeah. Don't talk to nobody. Yeah. But then when people come over, they assume we're doing well because we have all this candy and toys that we're sharing with everybody. Yeah. But once everybody was gone, all the gifts all of a sudden disappeared. Yeah. Because my mom was then turning around selling them and giving them to other people to look good. Yeah. So we still ended up with nothing. So how can I not grow up that behavior? I still struggle when somebody gives me something. It's because I can't understand it. So you give it to me, but I've learned now to start accepting things. Yeah. But it took years of practices and keep telling myself I'm not them. Yeah, I'm me. So I want to touch a little bit on because I think you have another powerful component to your story, and I think this is going to lead into my next question. So what can a person do? What can an adult do, or even a teenager do,
if they suspect a child is being neglected or abused? What's one of the things they can do?
Well, to me, there's quite a few things. One of the best things that ever happened to me is there was a Jesuit volunteer that on the weekends would come to the house, and I guess he knew that I was always outside. Somebody told him. They never see me playing with nobody or nothing. He came and sat next to me.
Yeah.
Didn't touch me, didn't grab me, nothing. He just sat next to me, said, "What's your name?" And he says, "So you go to this church on Sundays?" I said, "Yeah, that's where I did my catechism at."
Yeah.
But he just talked to me. He talked to my grandparents and said, there's activities that are in the neighborhood that we would love to take Daniel to.
Yeah.
He started taking me to all these different activities. I started learning more about the church.
And how old were you?
I was about 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, when he stepped in and started doing all that. So they knew.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just that little spark then made me start realizing that there are nice people.
Yeah.
There's people that don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. But you also have, you also did your due diligence as well with your granddaughter.
Right.
Talk a bit about that. Because I think that's
no.
a very strong.
Yeah, no, so I have a granddaughter now. I don't have a biological daughter, but she's someone who I've known since she was born.
Yeah.
She decided to start calling me dad when she was 4. The
Yeah.
first thing that ever came out of her mouth was, "I love you, Dad." And I told the mother, I don't have to be with you to raise her as my daughter since I was never able to have children.
Yeah.
So she said that was fine. So she ended up having a child. She named that child after me. So her name is Danielle, and
Okay.
even carries my last name, Bejarano.
Okay.
The one thing, I have full guardianship now, but what I told my daughters, I don't want to get custody because I'm not taking nothing from you.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is getting guardianship so that that baby's going to be safe regardless.
Right.
I will make sure she's protected.
Right.
She will be healthy. She
Right.
will get the right food. She will have her doctor
Right.
appointments. And my daughter, to her, she knew how I raised her.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Yeah, Dad," and signed the paper over for me, and her mom signed the paperwork because they both know who I am now.
Right. So in other words, you stepped in when you potentially felt that that there could have been some neglect going on, or
There was neglect.
okay.
So the moment my granddaughter was born, my daughter is not nurturing in any fashion.
Okay.
So at 1:30 in the morning, I'm the one that got up. I got up, picked her out of a bed, changed her, made her formula, and then sat her down on my chest and fed her until before I went to work.
Yeah.
Once I got ready to work, I'd put her in the crib, I'd take off, I'd call my daughter about 11, make sure the baby's changed,
Yeah.
make sure you feed her and stuff. Remember, she loves you, so hold her, cuddle her, and she'd be like, "All right, Dad." But even before then, when she was 4 months pregnant, I was already singing to her stomach. I was
Yeah.
already saying, "Grandpa can't wait till you come out and play," because I was trying to teach my daughter how to do what wasn't
That's
normal for
interesting.
her.
So do you feel that when your daughter got pregnant, did you feel at that time that she wasn't fit to be a parent, quote unquote?
Well, I knew she wasn't,
Okay.
because the
okay.
first thing she did is she didn't want to come home
Okay.
and stuff, and she knows my rules. Mine
Yeah.
is, you're not going to get high or vegetate in my house. You got to be doing something,
Yeah.
because if I love you, that means I'm going to help you do something.
Yeah.
She didn't want to. She likes to run around with her friends, and even pregnant, the guy that she got pregnant from, he was booting her around the streets, so she was hopping from house to house to house. And so the first thing that popped in my head is, you can't be caring for this child properly if that's what you're doing. I know that you're getting mad, upset, yelling,
Yeah.
screaming. I know how that affects the brains and how that feeds that fetus.
Yeah.
So to me, as I called her, and I said, "Mommy, do you know I love you?" She goes, "Yeah, Dad." I said, "Can we help that baby to be healthy? Can I help you so that we could do things so that baby doesn't grow up as colicky?"
Yeah.
So it's first, I'm going to help you learn how to eat correctly.
Yeah.
Because I'm diabetic, so I eat different. And I said, "Let me help you learn my meals.
Mhm.
Let me take care of you and the baby. I'm going to show you things you need to know." And she was like, "All right, Dad." So she was 4 months pregnant, so she stayed with me
Yeah.
the whole time while she was pregnant. She has a mother,
Yeah.
but again, she's not nurturing either.
Yeah.
So I took her to
Yeah.
all her appointments. I took her to do those, what do you call that camera thing where they show the picture of the baby?
Ultrasound.
Yeah, I did all that with her. I even have the ultrasound picture sitting on my wall of my granddaughter.
Nice.
But I told my daughter, I said, "No, just as much as I love you, I love that baby."
Yeah.
And I even had to teach my daughter though, because again, she grew up dysfunctional with her mom.
Right.
I called her one day and I said, how's my baby doing? She goes, she's doing right. She's doing good, Dad. I said, no, that's not what I asked you. I said, how's my baby doing?
Yeah.
You're my baby.
Exactly.
She's your baby.
Yeah.
You're first to me, and then she's second.
Yeah.
But I love you both the same. She goes, really, Dad? I said, yeah. But then that started changing her.
Yeah.
So when she has a baby now, she'll send me pictures showing me how well she's doing, that she's following my guidelines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think that's interesting. I want to kind of dig deep on the question I asked you. I do like the fact that you took that approach instead of calling CPS on your daughter. You stepped in yourself because of your past. You I feel like what I'm hearing from you is because of your past. You just kind of wanted to go in and break that cycle, so to speak. So that's one way that a person, if they suspect any type of neglect or child abuse, they can get involved themselves and go to the courts and try to get custody or temporary custody, whatever it's called. Another thing they can do, they can also, there's hotlines and numbers that they can, because sometimes people, Daniel, may not be in the space that you're in. See, you was in a good space where you can identify and go in and get your granddaughter and take care of her. But some people may not be in that place. They may not be in that place mentally, may not be in that place financially or physically. So in that case, then that's when they can actually report that, you know, to the CPS. And that, for me, honestly, that would be really hard if it's a family member. But I would do it because I know it would be the right thing to do. You know, but that would be really hard. And I think when you have to make those kinds of decisions, you have to know that this is for the best interest of the child.
Well, I mean, it's like me going to do the guardianship.
Yeah.
It wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't know if my daughter would understand it or not, but to me, there was only one thing.
Yeah.
How do I help that baby be safe and healthy?
Yeah.
It wasn't about my daughter smiling, being happy, being
Right.
disruptive to the baby or the
Right.
father, because he's a mess too.
Right.
But to me, is instead of me making judgment, is it okay for me to step in?
Yeah.
Can I help?
Yeah.
And that's what I was starting, is really was just helping.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she didn't leave the house till she was 4 months, after the baby was 4 months.
Okay, good. Well,
But that's when she disappeared for like a month.
okay.
And I found out she was leaving the baby with another friend, family friend. And that's when I stepped in because I was picking her up on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I asked, why am I picking the baby up here every weekend? That's when I learned. Well, she left her here. I was like, that's fine. So I called my daughter. I said, you know, it's not safe for you to be leaving the baby with other people. So I'm taking her and I'm going to do guardianship and take care of her. Is that fine with you? She goes, yeah, Dad.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Yeah. So you were able to see a lot of the signs and symptoms, or even when she was pregnant, you was able to identify and see some of the signs and symptoms. So let's talk about that.
I look for it now.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we got about 3 minutes. So let's talk a bit about this. So what are some of the signs and symptoms? So we know neglect in the sense where they're leaving their child off with somebody for a long period of time. So what else?
The baby, for me, is not wanting to attach to nobody, kind of keeping a safe distance.
Okay, the parent from the child. Okay, that's, wow, that's good.
When I see someone, so my daughter, when her mother moved in with some guy, I noticed the guy, there was no reason for the guy to want the mother there with the child because the mother doesn't work or do anything. So the first thing I did is I told my daughter, I said, you know, I'm going to call you every day at that house because I felt she was going to be molested.
Yeah.
And I said, so the day that he says don't get the phone or don't answer, you tell him, well, my dad said that if I don't answer the phone, he's going to come over here and you're not going to be very happy.
Yeah.
But to me, it was watching the moods. If
Yeah.
I seen the mood start changing, her not really trying to talk to me,
Yeah.
getting angry real easy for no reason,
Yeah.
those were the signs that were telling me, okay, there's something wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
And then, but I sat down with her and asked her, okay, what's going on? And once they were able to share that, then I changed it. But like my baby, I call her my baby, my granddaughter, but I left her with a babysitter that 3 different times within 6 months, she ended up with bruises.
Mm.
So when I asked her, why is my child coming in with bruises when I pick her up? The moment she said, well, I think maybe she fell off the bed, she might have fell off the couch, she might have hit this over here, that was a good enough sign to me to say, you know what, I don't even want to talk right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy with me. I don't want to call CPS because she's not going to be here no more.
Yeah.
I grabbed my granddaughter and found another babysitter. because I seen the sign already. My
Yeah.
granddaughter was already getting fidgety. When I take her over there, she was crying. So something tell me something was wrong. And then
Yeah.
the bruises, and the other children didn't have bruises, just my granddaughter.
Wow.
So that's when I said, oh, let me do what I have to do.
Yeah.
I told her daughter, who's my best friend, I said, you know what, if I take her there one more time, I will call CPS. It is going to become an issue, and you're not going to like how I respond.
Yeah.
To me, is you can't give me answers when somebody is hurt. There's a problem. If a child starts neglecting, not wanting to talk to me, there is a problem.
Mhm.
If they could only be around somebody, and they're only cuddling around somebody else and don't want to talk to everybody else, there's a problem. There's
Yeah.
small little signs. Because to me, she should be happy, smiling, be
Yeah.
next to you as comfort,
Yeah.
but still be able to say hi and smile at you. If they're not doing that, there's signs. There's
Yeah.
something saying, okay, what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
But sit down with them. Sit next to
Yeah.
them. Be kind. Don't give them stuff. Sit down next to them.
Yeah.
And just say, how you doing? Oh, man, you're getting so big.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk to a child like a child because they don't have adult processing.
Yeah.
But now you can understand and keep them safe, which is what I wish somebody had done for me.
Yeah.
The best thing that happened to me was that Jesuit volunteer willing to talk to me, to help me to understand that people do go outside and have fun. There are places to go.
Yeah.
That gave me hope in the long run.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know this is going to really impact a lot of people that watch the show. We've run out of time, and once again, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for today's edition of Mental Health Matters. I really hope you guys who are watching this show, I really hope you got some out of it, because it's a really, really, really real situation that's going on, child abuse and child neglect. And if you really like this particular topic, please dial 916-366-4600. If you would like to be a guest on our show, dial 916-366-4600. And stay tuned for our up-and-coming show.